when you're on birth control, you're not really having periods. If you actually bleed on a birth control pill, it's just because we were, having a placebo week of the pills. And so birth control pills can be a great solution in perimenopause. It's not the only solution, but for many women who need contraception and have irregular bleeding, they can be really helpful. But you're right; they will mask, the signs of early menopause. And I'm glad you brought it up because birth control pills are not always the ideal hormone replacement for someone who has premature menopause. In fact, it technically may be enough estrogen, but there's some data to suggest that these women actually do better using higher doses of bioidentical estradiol and progesterone rather than the birth control pill.
But if somebody's on birth control, can they tell where they are in the cycles? How does that work? They're just,
No.
is it because are you getting the same, you would get some of the other symptoms or no, like a hot flash?
Well, there are some women who even on a birth control pill, they will clinically tell us that, this birth control pill used to be helping my symptoms, but it's not cutting it anymore. And there's probably different reasons for that. And one being that birth control pills are ethinyl estradiol. They're not estradiol, what your body is making, and it's a synthetic progestin, not a progesterone. So some women may not have every symptom, covered. And and they're still a good option, but we can't measure your FSH or seeing what your estradiol is. We don't know what your ovaries are actually producing because the birth control pill suppresses your ovarian function and kind of replaces that. So if we want to see where you're at, you have to go off the pill for, a number of weeks, and then we can kind of check your blood work if we wanted to know.